Or you're stepping through, right? And it's like 1, immediately followed by 2 and 3, right? And then we get out?
Actually, yeah, it's pretty quick. Let's do that. It's
Okay.
easier.
Okay.
Then I will cue this one up as he says at the shelter.
Okay, cool. And I'll go to that.
And then I'll switch.
Then I'll be out at the end and 3 and homelessness.
Perfect. Boom. Killing it. Awesome. Thank you.
And I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm out. Okay?
Perfect.
Hey guys, are the slides you're sharing, are they any graphs of numbers or anything, or just pictures?
Just pictures. Awesome. Thank you. Hi, Lisa. This is Rebecca. How are you?
Doing fine. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you. Just checking the audio so we can hear you just fine. Perfect.
Good. Yeah, I'm going to close my window because I think somebody's doing landscaping. Always at these times.
Always, of course, of course. We always have the trolley noise in the back of ours, so.
I know. So I'm going to get up for a second. I always use headphones for that reason, but I was still hearing it. So
Well, perfect.
I'm here.
Awesome. Well, if you wouldn't mind, I don't see anybody else coming in right now, but if you could still just message in that chat, same as usual, that would be appreciated. Are you still there? Lisa?
You can pick an X or 2 over there, guys. That's probably the easiest one. And the only camera they can see is straight here. So you can stand. This X or you can stand over there. I mean, that's just easy. Wherever you'd like.
I'll be here. I'll be over here. I'll be by you.
All right.
Yeah. Sure miss my Padres game.
Me too.
No, it's so
We're
much
going to play
fun.
this year, though.
Yeah.
No fans, probably, but we'll still be on TV.
Okay, and the microphone is open, so you know. The microphone is hot.
All right, that's okay. No, I'm not giving away any state secrets.
1 minute.
I have 3 kids. 2, one's an infant, and 7 and 5 over at home. And just seeing,
Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us for today's update. I'm pleased to be joined this afternoon by Chula Vista Mayor Mary Casillas-Salas. I'm also pleased to be joined by Peter Seidler, who is general partner of the San Diego Padres and board member of the Lucky Duck Foundation, which is a local nonprofit that does a lot of great work in San Diego, particularly where they focus on homelessness. Earlier today, we heard a bit more on our economy. The state made some announcements about incremental modifications to the stay-at-home related to curbside pickups. I know a lot of San Diegans had been hoping for more, and some of the new metrics released today would make it very difficult for parts of our economy to open anytime soon. We in San Diego and throughout the regions have worked very hard, as I think all of you know, over the last several weeks, developing guidelines and requirements that would allow for a safe, smart, and strategic reopening in a way that makes it safe for all of our communities across the county. Here in San Diego, we will continue, and I will continue to focus on giving clear rules of the road for all parts of our economy, so everyone can start preparing now for a safe reopening. San Diego has been doing a lot of work on the right way to open, to do it safely for customers, and to do it safely for employees. Every business, no matter when they open, must follow the county's safe reopening plan. For more information, you can go to the county's website, www.coronavirus/sd.com. You'll be able to download and fill out the safe reopening plan that is required in order to reopen. Today, I'd like to provide a few updates. First, some exciting news regarding our plan to replicate our bridge shelter program outside the city of San Diego. And second, I'll be highlighting, of course, the work that San Diegans are doing to step up during this time of great need. Topic number one, really positive major news on expanding homeless solutions region-wide. Last year, a bit of background, San Diego was the only large county, San Diego County, in California to see a drop in homelessness, a 6% decrease. And last week, we announced that we did it again. Total number, and again in San Diego County, dropped by 6%. And in the city of San Diego, that total number of homelessness on the streets dropped by 12%. These numbers were collected before we turned the convention center into the shelter, which has moved even more people off the street. That's 2 consecutive years. 2 consecutive years of reducing the number of people experiencing homelessness. And it's because of the bold and innovative decisions that we have been taking in San Diego and been taking across the region. A great example, in 2017, we stood up 3 bridge shelters in the city of San Diego. The bridge means that transition from the streets into a permanent place of your own, a place that's safe. Our bridge shelters, they're safe, they're sanitary, they provide the wraparound services, and it's really become a lifeline for so many homeless individuals. Since then, we've worked really a lot to expand and improve it, repurposing Golden Hall. We had performance analytics look at all of the things that we were doing to making sure that we were being the most efficient and effective. Keeping in mind that when we work fast and when we work with purpose, we're going to make a real difference in people's lives. And we've been creating a population segmentation in the shelters to serve various groups, including transition-aged youth, and launching a pilot program to incentivize so many different types of individuals and folks to get the help and the support that they need. Because of the work that we have continued to do in San Diego, other cities across the country have been looking at our model. In fact, Secretary Carson from HUD was out here several times this past year. But one of our goals has always really been to create the momentum here in the city and to help make this a regional success, to transform the successes that we've been able to do into the entire region. And today, I'm very proud to announce a new partnership between the city of San Diego and Chula Vista on homelessness. Chula Vista will acquire one of our bridge shelters. We will be relocated from the Midway District to Chula Vista, and it will serve the cities throughout the South County. And just as we did through a very generous donation by the Lucky Duck Foundation, they in Chula Vista are able to procure it free of charge. This bridge shelter has been selected for a reason. Back in 2017, the U.S. Navy offered their land in the Midway area for this bridge shelter on 2 conditions: that it would serve homeless veterans and that it would be temporary. Nearly 3 years later, the time has come to find a new home for this shelter. And the decision to donate one of our bridge shelters operated by Veterans Village was not made lightly. We've taken all the steps and analyzed it, and very confident that we can continue to serve veterans at VVSD's main campus, and they will continue to expand shelter capacity at that system and through our ecosystem. We're really proud of our work in San Diego to reduce veterans' homelessness, and that was one of the goals of our city's strategic homeless plan. San Diego, in fact, our region has led the nation in getting the highest number of veterans off the streets. According to the 2019 HUD point-in-time count data, we helped over 244 veterans. In 2020, we reduced veterans' homelessness by 43%. And so I'm excited to take this success and help replicate it across the county, starting in the South Bay. On Tuesday, the Chula Vista City Council will vote on this 2-part plan, accepting the transfer of the shelter and funding the operations for the facility. To the Chula Vista City Council and to Mayor Salas, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for recognizing the help and the need and the fact that these bridge shelters are working to get people off the streets and really help getting people's lives back on track. Mayor Salas, you've been a real champion and partner on homelessness and working throughout the region on COVID-19. So again, thank you. I'm proud to work with you, to be your colleague, and working together with our 2 great cities here in the county to help continue to tackle one of the biggest challenges was the homelessness, but to do it in a way that achieves real results that changes lives. And with that, I'd be happy to invite Mayor Salas to the podium for a few words. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kevin. In normal times, I would have shook your hand, but these are not normal times. But I'm really happy to be here with you today, and thank you so much, Mayor Faulkner and the Lucky Duck Foundation and Peter for making this happen, for providing this much-needed shelter structure to help address the issues of homelessness in Chula Vista and South County. The bridge shelter will position Chula Vista and the South County to better respond to public health emergencies like COVID-19 and to provide a better solution to protect our unsheltered and get them the critical services that they need. This is an incredible opportunity to acquire this structure from this incredible opportunity came up quickly. And the City of Chula Vista is working to identify funding, the services, and the infrastructure to be ready to operate this facility. The City Council in Chula Vista will consider this generous donation at the council meeting next week at the May 12th meeting, and that meeting starts at 5 p.m. and it's live streamed, and we will be happy to get public comments during that time. We will also consider the funds for the planning and the design and the ongoing operational cost of the bridge shelter. We're working with our neighboring cities to collaborate to address the needs of the South County unsheltered population. And we're considering our options for locating the bridge shelter. We will be reaching out to our community for public input, and after these issues have been addressed, we will establish cooperating agreements with our neighboring cities to bring our community-based organizations to select an operator. Again, I want to thank you, Mayor Faulkner, and the City of San Diego and the Lucky Duck Foundation for providing us with this amazing building to jumpstart our efforts to build a shelter in the South Bay. And this is really a fantastic opportunity, and I wanted to let you know that I toured the bridge shelters on several occasions to see for myself how they operated. And this is a step in getting someone permanent housing, and the services that are offered that I saw were excellent. And it's a great alternative. It's something that we really need in our community, and we will be moving people from the streets into the shelter and into permanent housing, and this would not have been possible without this generous donation from the Lucky Duck Foundation and also from Mayor Faulkner. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mayor Salas. As Mayor Salas just mentioned, the Lucky Duck Foundation, I'm going to introduce Peter Seidler, who I think many San Diegans know as the general partner of the San Diego Padres, phenomenal community-based organization here in the city, but you may not know the role that Peter plays with the Lucky Duck Foundation. And Peter, just on behalf of all of us, thank you for your leadership. You're out at the Convention Center today for several hours and the work that's happening there. We couldn't do it without great community partners, and so I'm proud of the effort of Lucky Duck, really setting that example. And please come on up and say a few words, Peter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Faulkner and Mayor Salas. It's a privilege to be up here with both of you and to see the really constructive and best-in-class work being done to help the homeless population in our city and in our county. To see the Bridge Shelter Program expand into Chula Vista, it really warms my heart. The Bridge Shelters now in San Diego have been in existence for 3 or 4 years. It's a best-in-class, cost-effective program that on the one hand really helps the homeless person stabilize their life and move forward into permanent housing. On the other hand, it helps the city and the surrounding neighborhood in a very cost-effective way take a disorganized, difficult problem and turn it into an organized path of progress. And I emphasize the cost-effective nature of it because the homeless individual that's getting help through the bridge shelters, it saves the city and the local neighborhood all kinds of money when it comes to police work and ambulances and emergency rooms. So it definitely, I think for a lot of us, makes our hearts feel good that the person is getting help. It also makes our head and our pocketbook feel good that it's being done in an efficient and effective way. So thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Mayor Salas.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you to everybody at the Lucky Duck Foundation. And finally, this afternoon, continued our highlights on San Diegans that continue to step up in this great time of need. Today's Step Up story is to remind us of what a lifeline these shelters really are and the services that are available for San Diegans that may be struggling on our streets. Just a few weeks ago, Ricardo, who was now 18 and had been on the streets for more than a year, and got into one of the Urban Street Angels shelters for transitional aged youth. At the shelter, Ricardo started to really get his life back on track. He signed and got his first lease, got his CalFresh benefits, and opened up a bank account. Once he got back on his feet, he joined the Urban Street Angels 8 West program. It's where young adults with similar challenges can get hands-on job training skills. One of the tasks that they were challenged with was creating and selling soap. The proceeds went back into the program to help other young people. But as items like antibacterial soap are in such high demand to stop this virus, Ricardo and others in the program decided to donate the over 200 bars, several hundred bars of soap they made to local businesses to help fight the spread of COVID-19. Really good news, as of last week, Ricardo has been reunified with his family and recently moved back to Texas. Thanks to the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program, sponsored by the Regional Task Force on the Homeless, and thank you to all of the folks who are taking that first step to rebuild your lives just like Ricardo there. That's why these resources that we're talking about this afternoon are so incredibly important. In conclusion, thank you, San Diegans. Thank you for continuing to do the right thing. Thank you for continuing to help us flatten the curve and to demonstrate that this region is ready to reopen. And now with that, I'd be happy to take any questions from members of the media.
Today's first question comes from Lisa Haverstad with the Voice of San Diego.
Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Mayor Salas and Mayor Faulkner and Peter. I think really the big question I have is, what is the timeline to potentially open this new Chula Vista shelter, and what is the capacity that you're looking at for it in light of the pandemic we're dealing with right
Yeah, no, great question.
now?
Thank you, Lisa. As Mayor Salas had mentioned, this will be before the Chula Vista City Council for approval and ratification next week, and then the ability to move pretty quickly in terms of deconstruction and reconstruction. Folks are used to doing that. They've done it several times. And I think the good news is that there's a team that is ready to go. To answer your question about capacity, I believe that particular bridge shelter had a capacity of up to 200 individuals, but it'll be obviously up to the city of Chula Vista to determine the need that they want to serve in that bridge shelter. But Mayor Salas, come on up.
Relative to the timing, the City Council will just be taking an initial step to accept the donation because it's such a large value. It's a value in excess of $800,000 if we had to purchase this on our own. So first of all, the City Council will have to vote on accepting the donation, and then the second part would be to approve the funding from various different sources, including CDBG monies, in order to fund it. But relative to the exact timing and opening, there still has to be a public process where we will invite the public to weigh in on this. We have to finalize the selection of the site, and we do have a very good option in the city of Chula Vista. And then the other is building the infrastructure, because we want to improve on the original bridge shelter that was the ones that I saw, in that we want to build permanent sewer structures so people actually have showers and bathrooms in order to do that. So we're going to try to expedite it, but it still has to go through public review before we make that determination.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor Salas. Very thorough.
uh,
Any other questions from members of the media? Okay, well, thank you very much. Again, thank you, Mayor Salas. Thank you, Peter Seidler, and everybody at the Lucky Duck Foundation. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's update. Thank you very much.